Update. My girlfriend got upset at me for liking her birthday gift to me. Am I the a-hole? Original post. To start off, I, 32 male, had my birthday a few days ago. My girlfriend of 1 year, 29 female, and I decided to celebrate it at home. We basically just ordered some food for dinner and watched a movie together. After the movie, I got up and said that I would maybe play some games for a bit while she took her bath and got ready for bed, when she suddenly told me she got me a present. Now, for some context, I'm a fan of FromSoft games like Dark Souls, but I haven't gotten around to playing Elden Ring yet. I know it's already been a few years since it was released, but money has been tight, and I'm saving up for a car, so I haven't had the chance to buy it. My girlfriend doesn't play games, but does know about this because I may have hinted a bit that I wanted to play it for a while now. When she gave me her gift, which was very clearly a game case, I got a bit excited, thinking she had gotten me Elden Ring. But when I opened it, it wasn't Elden Ring, it was a game called Code Vein for the PS4. Now, I'm not gonna lie, at first I was kind of disappointed because it wasn't what I was expecting, but I grew up poor and my parents taught me to always be thankful for any gifts I received. So I told my girlfriend thank you, got up, and gave her a hug and a kiss on the cheek. Okay, so now comes the weird part. After kissing her on the cheek, she gave me this kind of surprised look and asked, "How do you like my gift?" To which I was honest and replied, I mean, it wasn't what I was expecting, but it looks kind of fun, so yeah, thanks. Again, she gave me a surprised look. So I went on to play the game. I have both a PS5 and a PS4, while she took her bath and did her nightly routine. It had been a while since I had played on the PS4, but after about half an hour of playing, I was actually kind of digging the game a bit. It was basically kind of like Dark Souls, except in a very anime style. About an hour into playing, my girlfriend came down to tell me the bathroom was free and I could take a bath. Now I don't remember the entire conversation word for word, but it went something like this. "Oh yeah, sure, just give me 5 minutes to finish what I'm doing and save my progress." "So you really do like the game? Isn't it like an old game?" "Yeah, but it's actually kind of fun. You picked a good one, babe. Thanks." "So you're really not upset that I didn't get you that game you wanted?" "Yeah, I wanted Elden Ring, but this is good too. Why are you getting angry? It's your gift." At that point, she kind of had this frustrated look on her face, and although she wasn't shouting, she had raised her voice a bit. I stared at her and asked what was up. After some back and forth between us, she begrudgingly admitted that she purposely got me the wrong game to get back at me, because on her birthday, I had gotten her the wrong gift. On her birthday, I had gotten her a bottle of perfume, but while I had chosen the correct brand, it apparently wasn't the exact one she wanted. Now, in my defense, during that time, I did ask her flat out what she wanted. She told me the brand of perfume, but on the day I was buying it, there were tons of bottles to choose from. When I called to ask which one she wanted, all she said was, "You should know what scents I like. Surprise me." When I gave it to her on her birthday, she just smiled at me and said she loved it, so I honestly didn't question anything. So she then devised a plan so that I would feel what she felt and thought that I would get upset at her for getting the wrong game, but she didn't expect that I would actually enjoy it. Honestly, I'm not really even that upset at her for what she did, and this might be where I'm an a-hole. I even kind of laughed at her bad attempt at getting back at me when she explained it. I've also already apologized for getting her the wrong perfume and even offered to buy the right one for her on my next payday. But now she's still mad over it and is calling me an a-hole and isn't talking to me. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? I'm not really sure because I guess I'm treating the situation kind of lightly, but maybe I'm not seeing things from her perspective. Any advice? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. I don't understand this mentality from a 29-year-old. This feels like something a teenager would do. Grudges and payback. Just show the level of immaturity your girlfriend has. Yeah, I don't know. She's usually much more level-headed, and she's never done anything this petty before either. So, definitely not the a-hole, but quick question. Could she have returned the perfume for the one she wanted? This question was brought up, and I never really replied. In my country, the concept of returning items simply due to a change of mind isn't really a thing. Usually, most stores only do it if the item is broken or if it's a piece of clothing that was gifted but doesn't fit. You can ask for the same thing in a different size. Though I'm sure there's probably some rule or law that states we technically can, it's not a very common practice, so people don't do it. No return, no exchange is something kind of ingrained into buyers here. Not the a-hole at all, unless you stay, and that's to yourself. 2 things. 1, I'm impressed that she accidentally picked a game so similar to Elden Ring and Dark Souls that you are actually enjoying it. She absolutely chose wrong to be vindictive. She could have gotten something like FIFA or Stray, and it would have been more effective. And 2, I don't think I've ever heard of weaponizing gifts like this. This is next level petty. You should do yourself a favor and listen to her. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Leave this one and find someone who wants to see you happy with Elden Ring. Best of luck. This is kind of why I laughed at her when she explained what she did. Because to be honest, regardless of what game she got me, I probably still would have played it. Like, yeah, I wouldn't buy FIFA myself because it's not my thing. But if you gave it to me as a gift, I still would have probably played it for a solid hour or 2 and enjoyed myself. Now for the update. Hey Reddit, thanks for all the comments saying I wasn't the a-hole. Although I didn't respond to a lot of your comments, I did try to read almost all of them, so thank you. I'll try to condense this as much as I can, but it'll probably still be pretty long. Anyway, the update is that we broke up. After reading the majority of your comments, I was able to formulate my thoughts properly. But please know that, contrary to your guys' advice, I fully went into that conversation with the intent to maybe just work things out and talk things through. However, things devolved so far from what I was originally expecting. It was about way more than just a bottle of perfume in a game. She had been avoiding bringing up the topic for the past couple of days, but today I urged her to sit down and talk about what happened, why she did what she did, and what she wanted from me. We talked for about 2 hours, which were probably the longest 2 hours of my life. And after a lot of pushing on my part, she finally laid everything out. She said she acted the way she did because she was frustrated that I had stopped being romantic. Okay, so here's the thing. Over a year ago, when we first started our relationship, we were still living separately and I was renting a cheap apartment. Factoring out rent and utilities, whatever else I made, I would usually spend either on her, my hobbies, or my savings. So I usually got her flowers, trinkets, and gifts. And we would go out on dates every other weekend. You know, the usual stuff. Things changed about 6 months ago because I inherited an old house from one of my uncles. It wasn't big, just 2 bedrooms, 1 full bath, a living room, and a small basement, which is where I play. And it was a bit outside the city area where I used to rent, but the actual plot of land is pretty sizable. Plus, you know, it's a freaking house. Like I said in my original post, I grew up dirt poor, and I honestly thought I would be renting an apartment for my whole life. I never thought I would own property, so I was pretty happy about it. Now my girlfriend was initially happy that I got a house too, but after she actually saw the place, she kind of took it back and even suggested I sell it instead, which I refused. She comes from a well-to-do family, so I guess the house wasn't that impressive in her eyes. Unfortunately, the house is kind of a fixer-upper, so a lot of the money I earn now goes into fixing it up and maybe even expanding it. And since it's outside the city, I've also been setting aside money to buy a car, which I never thought of doing before because I used to just commute. And the apartment I was at didn't have parking. So I guess my girlfriend started to feel that I wasn't doing as much of the romantic stuff as before. We don't go out on dates as much, usually just on special occasions or holidays. And I don't get her as many gifts as before, because most of my money is going into the house. I did try to point out that I still make small gestures here and there, like cooking her favorite foods and doing her chores for her. Heck, I even sometimes sing to her every now and then, even though I have a terrible singing voice. Also, yesterday was Valentine's Day, so I did try to gift her flowers and candy, but she just accepted them kind of sullenly. I offered to take her out to dinner, but she refused. But yeah, even still, I guess that just wasn't enough for her. She said I wasn't as attentive to her wants compared to when we first started dating, and she wasn't happy living in the small house I inherited. She said she only moved in to show her support for me, but she honestly didn't like not living in the city. She said that me getting her the wrong perfume on her birthday was the final straw, and that she wanted to bail on our relationship. When I asked her why she didn't just tell me she wanted to end things, she said she wanted me to initiate the breakup because her parents really liked me, and she was scared they would cut off their support if she broke up with me. Things apparently weren't going well at her job, and she had been asking her parents for extra money for a while. She couldn't ask me for money because of the house expenses. So essentially, she wanted me to get upset at her so that either A, I would get frustrated enough to initiate the breakup, or B, I would get angry enough that she could tell her parents. He got really angry, and I didn't feel safe with him anymore. But her plan wasn't going well, because apparently nothing she did bothered me enough to start a fight. She confessed to doing small annoying things for the past few weeks, like piling up dirty dishes or making a mess in the bedroom to try to piss me off, but nothing worked. I was so oblivious, and basically functioned like normal, that her patience wore thin by my birthday, and me enjoying the gift caused her to snap. It was such a messed up and convoluted plan that I still have trouble wrapping my head around it. Anyway, after a long and frankly exhausting talk, she decided things weren't going to work out between us. Aside from the obvious craziness of what she did, our priorities and values were just too different. She also wasn't happy with the state of our relationship, so she suggested we break up and said she would deal with her parents in her own way. She's packed some of her stuff and is staying at a friend's house for now. I was honestly kind of dumbfounded by her reasoning, but I remembered a lot of your comments and just agreed to part ways. It really kinda sucks, and I still can't believe this all started over a freaking video game. It's only been an hour since our talk, and I'm going to lie down for a while to decompress. Sorry for any messy writing, and again, thanks a lot for your comments and for letting me vent here, Reddit. A lot of you said things that made me feel much better about myself. I don't claim to be the perfect partner, and I definitely have some shortcomings, so I'm going to do some self-reflection before getting into a new relationship. Hopefully I can learn from this and maybe be better for my next partner if I ever find one. Hope you guys have good days, and always remember to be thankful for any gifts you get LMFAO. Change the locks and pack up the rest of her stuff ASAP. Also, contact her parents and give them the cliff notes of why you broke up. She may try to paint herself as the victim, and you don't want them reacting badly. People be crazy, as you well know. I probably will contact them just to let them know, but she's probably already told them by the time she left today. Next story. Would I be the a-hole if I end my marriage while we have a toddler and a baby because I'm constantly accused of cheating and she puts me at risk of being fired? My wife, 28 female, and I, 29 male, have been together for 11 years, and we have known each other for 22 years. We got married 6 years ago, and we now have a 2.5-year-old and a 5-month-old together. Our marital issues really started when our oldest was a year old, but the first time she accused me of cheating was when she was pregnant the first time. At the time, it seemed to be an isolated incident, and I thought we had worked through it. But she has become so paranoid and argumentative because of her suspicions. She is bringing this into my workplace and taking the risk that I could be fired. I have never cheated on her. I have never cheated on anyone, nor have I almost cheated or suggested I would cheat. She claimed the first time she grew suspicious was because her friend was cheated on, and it made her worried I would do the same, or was doing the same and making a fool out of her, because nobody knew about her friend's boyfriend. She also said it was likely just pregnancy hormones making her crazy. When she started accusing me after the birth of our oldest, I was told she should be checked for PPD and given some grace because the newly postpartum period is confusing and difficult. She was cleared for PPD, but the cheating suspicions remained. I have tried to work through this, but she has always refused marriage therapy or solo therapy. I attended some to try and figure out ways to work through this, but she grew even more deeply paranoid when she became pregnant with our second child. I know people will ask why we had another child with this going on, and it was because I thought, yet again, we had come through it and we talked about adding to our family. But she admitted to me she never really believed me when I said I didn't cheat, and she just wanted all her kids to be full siblings. So she was willing to ignore it until she was done having kids. She has lied multiple times about trusting me and not tracking me. She will claim she was home with the kids or at a mom and baby or toddler group when really she's checking where I'm eating lunch and going to my car to look for signs of cheating while it's parked at work. She does this at home too. She has started calling my office and asking who I'm with and whether I'm in the office or not. She even accused my boss of being my gay affair partner. I was lucky that he was understanding, but she accused him of stealing a married father from his family. When I do any grocery shopping, she believes I'm using it as a cover to cheat. She has yelled at me and called me a disgusting pig when I went to grab diapers or formula from the store. I could be gone for 5 minutes, and she'll still believe I was with someone in that time. She wants me to tell her everything I do from the second I wake up in the morning to the second I fall asleep. She doesn't believe me when I tell her where I've been and who I've been with. The fact that there are women in my office bothers her too. Her family has even noticed how bad she is. Sometimes she will go to their house and stare at her tracking app on her phone to see if I'm moving. She's able to maintain other elements of her life, but this has reached a point where I'm done. I feel like she's seconds away from assaulting me some days, and she's always so quick to try to fight with me. A few days ago, I told her this can't continue, and we need to figure out a way for her to get help and believe me, or it needs to end. She told me I can't destroy our family now, and to think about the future babies she wants. She told her family, and they all said I can't leave while we have a literal baby, and to think about my kid's future and the trauma of having divorced parents. My wife will absolutely not go to therapy. She has refused every single time. She has not been diagnosed with PPD, and her OB and regular doctor do not see any other signs of it except for her accusations. I feel like I could lock myself in the house or sit in front of her all day, every day, and she would still accuse me of cheating. Our nearby support system, her family, all say this will get better and that I need to stick it out and that divorce would be awful when our kids are so young. But I don't see how we continue. It's volatile, and I fear she will assault me, and I am not saying that lightly. Would I be the a-hole if I ended my marriage over this? Do I need to wait longer and fight harder, even though I feel I risk this becoming a DV situation? I did not have a healthy family life growing up, so I may be too sensitive to it, but I no longer see a way forward. And if I lose my job, we're all going to suffer even more. Talk to a lawyer before doing anything. Do not leave and then talk to a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer to learn how to leave. You have kids you must protect, a job you must protect, and assets you must protect. Do it fast, but do it in the right order. That's what I plan to do. I have a free appointment already booked to at least talk through different options I have. Not the a-hole. This is not a way to live. I'm confused about what trauma there would be from having divorced parents. Your wife needs professional help. I do worry for the children because if you leave, will her paranoia transfer to something involving the kids? I would give an ultimatum. Either she gets therapy or you are not staying. Is she even caring for these kids while obsessively tracking him? I have young kids and there is no time for that, LOL. She has been so far. I worry that it will slip if she gets more consumed by tracking and following me around.